and will not replace him. Meanwhile, about 400 female learners impregnated during the COVID-19 lockdown. And FMU on poor yellow card in regards to safety appeals to fans.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Hello once again, let's dig into it. President Yoweri Museveni has held a consultative meeting with a team of scientists from the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, World Health Organization and herbalists at State House in Entebbe. In the meeting, the president lectured the team on the significance of herbal medicine. Now, the president called upon the doctors to work closely with the innovators of herbal medicine through doing clinical trials in the presence of the formula founders in order to rule out mistrust and thereafter identify the important elements which cure a given illness. The president further asked the scientists to look into the education curriculum and see how students can also benefit from their research. In her response, the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Monica Musenero, thanked the president for his relentless efforts in developing a science-led economy and specifically championing the development of indigenous herbal medicines. The minister briefed the president on the 12-step natural therapeutic value chain, including forests and gardens, herbalists, technicians, herbal institutions, registration of intellectual property, research scientists, clinical trials, regulatory agencies, manufacturing, offtake and market, international clearance, consumer confidence and marketing. Dr. Musenero vowed to the president's guidance and also informed him about the need to acquire a laboratory machine which will be used for trials. The president accepted the proposal. Now, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabbanja, has asked Ugandans to keep calm as government works tooth and nail to find a suitable solution for the skyrocketing commodity prices. She was talking to journalists immediately after the plenary session at Parliament. Essential commodities have registered an unusual surge in prices over the last 3 months. A bar of laundry soap price increased by 26%, sugar by 10%.
That are raising up is a global phenomenon. We have taken trouble to find out what is happening in our neighboring countries. The prices are going up. Why? Because all countries opened at the same time. So those companies, all factories in Indonesia, in Malaysia, China, they are overwhelmed by demand in all countries across the globe. Because you know, some of these raw materials do not come from here. So those raw materials that are imported on a global demand. And therefore, that's one of the reasons why we have some prices going up. Then the second one is the speculators. Some people hold on the items they have and then start releasing them slowly. Because first of all, like you know, these other companies like Bidco, Mukwano and many other companies that work, Park, we have had a meeting with them. And we have also, you can also go on net and check whether other countries, whether their prices are going up. You can check. It's a global phenomenon.
So what was part of the meeting? What have you discussed with the manufacturers?
Of course, it is going to be, it's going to be short-lived. Why? Because those companies continue to produce, and when the global market is saturated, definitely the prices will come down.
Now, members of the ruling National Resistance Movement NRM Party caucus are set to meet at Kololo Independence Grounds to deliberate on national issues. Minister for Information, Communication Technology and National Guidance says top on the agenda is the implementation of the new parish model, development model.
The ruling NRM Parliamentary Caucus last sat in July 2021. Top on the agenda was choosing a flag bearer for Iyala by-elections and unveiling the new parish development model.
The most important challenge you have is the issue of household incomes. If you don't address that, you will not succeed.
The upcoming ruling party caucus is set to discuss the implementation of the new parish model following its recent launch in February 2022.
I know we have arrangements to sensitize the whole parliament, but this one is organized by the party to engage the members of NRM who represent us in the parliament so that they understand better issues of the parish development model.
The caucus, set to bring together NRM MPs, has seen a lot of anxiety and high expectations.
Fuel prices have remained high. Essential commodities like sugar, soap, salt, paraffin, beans, all these essential commodities have remained at a very high price. So my expectation is he is going to address this and touch into the gist of this, why the prices can't come down.
The issue of this inflation, the rise in the commodity prices, particularly commodities which are manufactured locally here in Uganda, shall be discussed. And the Minister of Finance and the Minister for Trade should be able to give responses to the members in the caucus.
The meeting will be held at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in Kampala. Henry Okurut, UBC.
Now, about 400 female learners who were impregnated during the COVID-19 lockdown have not returned to school. Chikove RDC Amlan Tumusime argues that all girls have a right to education regardless of their pregnancy, marital or motherhood status. He has urged parents to support their daughters who gave birth or became pregnant during the lockdown to return to school. Tumusime was speaking during the pass out of over 200 students of Buhimba Secondary School who have been undergoing a one-week patriotism training.
Bakutulinda akamukisa akatutero akamuka ine myaka 16 akamuka ine myaka 15 choka bena no bwana babuhimbi bakaba P6 betu mbagalwire gasomero nyabagara yaga mu nkiyenge mali konke mugeni musome mina kumara P7 so
And now the National Unity Platform officials say they are not willing to replace Mityana Municipality MP Francis Zake, as the Commissioner of Parliament. Philip Aguta reports that NUP Secretary General Louis Robongoya told a media briefing at the party head offices in Kamocha that Zake's removal was illegal and is a political fight.
National Unity Platform officials blame Parliament for the removal of Mityana Municipality MP Francis Zake from the post of a commissioner. Zake was voted out last week on grounds of using abusive language on the Deputy Speaker of Parliament. The National Unity Platform Secretary General Louis Rubongoya says Zake's removal was illegal and described it as a political fight.
Even a person who has not gone to law school can see that the Deputy Speaker was, as the Honorable General was explaining the other day, how can you be a complainant, then you are a judge, you are the prosecutor, you are the executioner? I mean, how? So anyone can see that this was just a case of political witch hunt.
He told journalists that NUP will not replace Mityana Municipality MP as a commissioner at Parliament since they have challenged the move.
Challenging the purported removal of Honorable Zake. We are challenging it using all avenues available, legal avenues, etc., etc. About the other processes that the party may engage in, I'll say that we are going to sit and discuss that.
Meanwhile, NUP has urged the government to intervene on the escalating commodity prices by cutting down taxes.
Fuel prices went high, and the excuse was fuel trucks were held up at the border. But for a long time now, the trucks were released. Fuel prices have not gone down. In fact, in some cases, they have gone higher. We believe that the cartels who run the fuel industry are making sure of this. And that's why we are saying, government, can we see focus on this issue?
It is not a secret that whenever we have escalating commodity prices, it is the women and girls that are largely affected by these prices in all aspects, because the prices affect them right from the homestead.
Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily bundle of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
This is how we play. Play with power.
This is how we do it.
How we put a team together. This is how we pass on greatness. Because with this team to inspire us, there's nothing we can't do. Play to inspire.
There have always been hard times, but these days are harder than most. Everyone is hurting. Everyone needs help. But some among us are asking the question, what if we didn't have to go through life's hardest moments alone? What if we were in it together? And just by asking that question, he changed my son's life. He created an online crowdfunding platform for Ugandans to help raise money for each other.
Thank you, Nixon, for helping me.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
In March 2018, Total Energies launched the Welders Training and Certification Program aimed at improving the employability of Ugandans from the Albertine region and East African crude oil pipeline areas.
GIZ E4D project is working with Total Energies, where we are targeting to train at the end of it 350 welders, and we're expected to train more.
I see myself working maybe in the oil and gas industry, being an international certified welder. Of course, I'll have acquired the skills.
I'm a lady, but doing something which is generally perceived to be for men. It makes you actually feel special. It makes you feel wow.
I am ready to support the oil and gas sector by being a quality welder. I thank you, Total, and I thank the government of Uganda.
Total Energies EP Uganda is committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development of the oil project in Uganda.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Brought to you by.
We're here to build because at the end of the day, we're truly Ugandan.
Welcome back. You are still watching News Tonight. Uganda Land Commission, led by Ben Nyeko, has failed to answer MP's queries on the Naguru-Nakawa land row, which prompted the committee to send them back for proper preparation. Minister for Local Government, Raphael Magezi, told the committee that his ministry seized control of the housing project in 2014 after it was taken over by the Office of the Presidency under the Ministry for Kampala.
No, Professor, what happened to the presidential directive?
While appearing before the ad hoc committee investigating the Naguru-Nakawa land row, the Uganda Land Commission bosses, led by part-time Commissioner Jack Nyeko, failed to satisfy MP's queries, which prompted the chair of the committee, Dan Kimosho, to put them on oath.
Okay, of the files that you received when you were entering office, did you receive any file that bared an advert in regard to Naguru land?
I have not seen that advert on the files.
Professor, you told this committee you had an internal advert. Was it penned in heaven or it was, where was it?
As a commission, we internal on the notice board of the commission. This is what I'm saying. And then people responded. And then we were called for a meeting with a long list of people who have applied.
Chair,
No,
let me interrupt. No.
Yes.
If you put an internal advert at the Ministry of Lands, how are you advertising for people who pass Ministry of Lands? How does the person in Guru know that there is an advert at the Ministry of Lands for land allocation? That's what we are asking. And how come that these 15, how did they know?
The committee also interrogated Minister for Local Government Raphael Magezi on the same issue. Magezi explained that the ministry seized control of the housing project in 2014 after it was taken over by the Office of the Presidency under the Ministry of Kampala and Metropolitan.
The President, it's under the Office of the President. We handed over the project. All the records, all the files, all the responsibility went to Kampala. So it's the City Council which is responsible for that. But we retained membership on the technical committee. That's why my technical staff are able to engage the committee to give them the full information of what was the responsibility of the committee, what was decided thereafter, when did they last meet. They know very well.
There is a standing commitment of over 34 billion from government to clear sitting tenants who were supposed to benefit from this housing project after Cabinet in 2014 resolved that each one of them be paid 17.7 million Uganda shillings.
Takes them as a priority in terms of allocation of the new houses, but they have not benefited from that, and the government agreed to give them a token, casimo or something to help you to move on, of 17.7 million each. That is still a standing commitment of government, and we'll follow it up. But
the committee investigations are still ongoing. Shamim Naiga, Gloria Gutabenji, Ubc News.
Meanwhile, Uganda is sending 5 young innovators to represent the country at the Dubai Expo Innovation Week starting 21st March to 27th March 2022. The team was announced at the launch of a new campaign by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance aimed at branding Uganda as a business processing, outsourcing, innovation and investment destination. The launch was presided over by the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Chris Bariomosi, at the ICT Innovation Hub in Nakawa.
It is time they learned that they could still offer their expertise or services while still in their countries of residence. It's time they learned that they could be the third party taking care of businesses overseas, services like legal services, digital marketing, human resource, customer services, research and analysis. Better yet, they could still get the job and learn at it, because not to tease what you know now, you once knew not. Business process outsourcing is the future. Embrace it.
That's business processing outsourcing, demystified by a poet, Hawa Chimbugwe. Business process outsourcing is a method of subcontracting various business-related operations to third-party vendors. For example, a telecom company based in Cleveland, Ohio, can have its customer service call center manned by Ugandans and based here in Uganda instead of having physical presence in the USA. Many businesses world over, from small startups to large companies, are presently tapping into this innovative service. That's the drive by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance to have Uganda as a BPO destination.
The Ministry of ICT and National Guidance is going to create and implement a comprehensive branding and marketing strategy that shall build the right impetus to scale export opportunities for the Ugandan enterprises in the global market. Some countries are now proving that the concept works in the context of BPO and ICT as well.
Through BPO and innovation promotion, the ministry is working towards enabling market-oriented innovation, connecting the best of businesses, talent and ideas from around the world. Labor availability, internet connectivity, cost of internet, and enabling environment are some of the value propositions Uganda will leverage on to position herself as Africa's innovation powerhouse, according to ICT and National Guidance Minister Chris Wariomosi.
We have invested in education of our young people. We have a talented and highly educated and highly skilled young population that working together, we as a country can actually be, and we are, Africa's innovation powerhouse. We just need to facilitate that potential to see that we can transform.
The ministry believes that by sending Ugandan innovators to the Dubai Expo, they will experience breakthrough technologies and learn about disruptive innovations. The innovators on the traveling party we talked to couldn't agree anymore.
Being able to present this at the expo will give us the opportunity to reach a wider audience and be able to present to the world what Ugandan innovation can do on a global stage. So we believe with what we're trying to put down, there'll be a lot of value for us at the expo.
A panel discussion composed of main players in the ICT and innovation sector set the tone for the day, deliberating on ways how Uganda can develop a successful innovation sector. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
And with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll return with more details. This is News Tonight.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay, FlexiPay or Bridge Schools. To pay school fees using FlexiPay, dial *185#. Select option 6 School Fees. Select option 3 FlexiPay. Enter the school code. Enter the student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Government of Uganda, through the Uganda Bureau of Statistics (UBOS), is undertaking nationwide census mapping aimed at providing an up-to-date list of enumeration areas and administrative units in the country ahead of the National Population and Housing Census of 2023. The UBOS field teams will be using Global Positioning Systems (GPS) for mapping all administrative infrastructure, households and other facilities such as hotels, schools, hospitals and water sources to facilitate production of the updated LC1, parish, sub-county and district area maps showing all the physical features and social amenities. The census mapping will further aid development of a countrywide data for information systems as a pillar for effective implementation of the parish development model. This is to appeal to the entire government leadership, all stakeholders and the general public to support the field teams that will be deployed across the country. Announced by Dr. Chris Ndatira Muchiza, the Executive Director and Chief Statistician For further clarifications, please contact the Office of the Executive Director on 0755 342 128.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Are you a consumer? Do you purchase movable second-hand items such as motor vehicles, household items, and many others? Don't be cheated. Carry out a search on the Simple Registry and verify whether the property you're buying has been used to secure a loan. Simple is the security interest in movable property registry system. It is an online registry hosted by URSB for registration of security interests on movable property. For more information, call us on our toll-free number 0800-100006 or log on to simple.ursb.go.ug. Simple, safer lending, easier borrowing.
This message was brought to you by Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
Mzee Nkonge, did you know that wasting water like that is causing harm to the environment? Did you know that water is vital for agriculture, industries, transport, energy, amidst other growing demands?
You mean water is that important?
Be in class now. Water resources are part of the environment, and their sustainable management and development is key in mitigating the increasing risks and shocks related to climate change. Join the Uganda Water and Environment Week 2022 from 28th to 25th March 2022 under the theme Water and Environment for Peace and Socio-Economic Transformation of Uganda, as we discuss the role of water and environment resource management and development in promoting peace and stability. The Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by the Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute in collaboration with other partners. For more information, call 0782 662205 or 0753 153791.
Your MBs are now bigger MBs only on MTN. When you load a daily band of 250 shillings, you no longer get 15 MBs, you get 30 MBs. For 500 shillings, you no longer get 40 MBs, you get 80 MBs. For 1,000 shillings, it's no longer 100 MBs, it's 180 MBs. Dial *150*10# or use the My MTN app to load bigger daily bundles only on MTN.
MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
You're still watching News Tonight. Let's now talk business. Uganda manufacturers warn of increased imported inflation in the long run due to the high demand for commodities, goods and commodities, whose raw materials are imported and yet scarce. UBC TV has met with Uganda Manufacturing Association, UMA, and Economic Policy Research Center to examine the causes and what lies ahead.
Crude oil price hikes for commodities like cooking oil, soap, steel and bread, whose raw materials are largely produced by Russia and Ukraine, are early signs of a long-standing inflation to importing countries like Uganda.
Uganda has been a little bit lucky that the manufacturers have been able to absorb most of these costs, because we are a little bit disadvantaged that we do not have a coastline. So it's a very expensive operational destination, but somehow we managed to bring our members to terms so that they can, in a way, they have tried to absorb, but it also has limits.
Many Ugandans are concerned about the hikes in commodity prices and are wondering what could be the cause. Could it be local issues like the current tax regime by government, the increase in fuel prices, or external factors like the war in Ukraine?
Yeah, it's a combination of issues, both internal and external. And as many have alluded, there are also post-COVID effects, particularly in high demand. You remember we have just reopened the economy, so there's high demand, yet the supplies cannot respond as quickly as possible.
For example, manufacturers of cooking oil and soap are buying palm oil, the main raw material, between $1,980 to $2,800 per metric ton, down from $800 before January 2022.
Malaysia is one of our biggest sources of raw material for the production of palm oil. And Malaysia, in January, even before anything else, they passed a law or a regulation that requires that 20% of their oil is supposed to be sold locally. And the producers of this oil are supposed to subsidize the prices by almost half, okay? And therefore they had to look for alternatives of where they should get revenue to subsidize. And the next best alternative was to raise the price on the exports.
And that has been everywhere, not only in Uganda. As you know, even the inflation rate in the US is now at 7%. First time in 40 years. Never happened before. Kenya, they're complaining of the same food prices. So internally, that's what I would say. We reopened the economy, but we didn't think about the other rules which come with it.
According to manufacturers, other regional factors influencing price include the high cost of logistics on road transport due to fuel hikes, the high taxes levied on raw materials and external transport sources, and the high cost of electricity. For UBC News, Wadulo Makanold.
Well, and that does it for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details. Elizabeth Nakakone, our sign language interpreter. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Do stick around.